favorite shirt, favorite universe. Let's talk about the Old Republic. So in 2011, this neat MMO came around called Star Wars The Old Republic. So while you were there in your diaper playing Skyrim Toddler Edition, I was there playing a real man's game known as Star Wars The Old Republic. Now, recently, Star Wars The Old Republic has been released on Steam, so a lot of you have come to your residential KOTOR expert, Mr. Matty, and asked, should I play this game in 2020? Is it worth it? If I like KOTOR, should I play this game? If I haven't played KOTOR, should I play this game? I hope to answer all of your questions in this video on whether or not this gigantic game is worth your hard drive space. So I fire up my client for the first time since December of 2019, and I was reminded how much of a little Dragon Ball fanboy I am. I mean, look at this. Trunks-u, Android 17, haha, Piccolo, Matty, so quirky. You like Dragon Ball, don't you, dude? Before I go on any further, let's talk about some of the new things that have come with the Steam release. First and foremost, if you're like me and literally any other current player and you want to know if you can just download the game on Steam and have all of your progress carry over, the answer is yes. There is cross save, so if you want to for some reason keep that client separately on your desktop and go back and forth between Steam and this client, you can do so without losing anything in between playthroughs. Furthermore, like most Steam releases, they've added trading cards to the game. I've never been infatuated with this stuff, so I'm just gonna keep moving on. Emoticons have been added as well as backgrounds. To me, the most exciting, however, is achievements. Although SWTOR will not have Steam achievements on launch, over 100 achievements will be added with a future update later this year. All of the Steam achievements will be the exact copies of their SWTOR counterparts, so you can already go in game and check them out, meaning Steam will not have exclusive or unique achievements. Achievements will be retroactive. For example, if you have 47 achievements already unlocked in-game, those same achievements will all unlock on Steam when you launch SWTOR through the platform for the first time. I'm a bit of a trophy hunter, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I love achievements, I love trophies, like that type of stuff. There's a meta game there that I'm addicted to, and I think like a big part of the reason I complain that we haven't seen any type of like up-res or updates to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is because there aren't any achievements. The second one has achievements. They even added new achievements to the game as they continue to progress with some of its updates, but nope. No achievements when it comes to actually the first Knights of the Old Republic, which blows my mind. Anyway, SWTOR will have achievements, so that's pretty cool, but let's talk about the base game itself. Is it worth your time? Well, my answer might be very different from someone who's very experienced with the game. I play SWTOR on a PvE level. I have no interest in the PvP. I have no interest in some of the weekly repeatable missions, the conquests that you can perform. None of that interests me. I'm interested in the questing. I'm interested in the character stories, the class stories. I'm interested in all of that stuff because I'm more invested in the universe as a KOTOR fanboy than as someone who wants just a good MMO. I know Final Fantasy XIV's really taken the world by storm. I have yet to really play it because I don't want to pay a subscription fee, but the difference with SWTOR is you can play this relatively comfortably for free. There are some shortcomings with that. For example, your XP gets sliced at a certain level. You can't sprint until much later in the game, which may be just a bit of an annoyance. And there's plenty of other reasons why they want you to pay for the game, but none of it really deterred from my experience as someone who was just there to go around and quest. So I've experienced some of the character stories throughout my time with SWTOR, the Sith Inquisitor, Imperial Agent, the Jedi Consular, the Republic Trooper, and each story has their pros and cons. I'd say if you're going in for the first time and you're looking for something to just grab hold of you, start off with the Imperial Agent. Universally speaking, from what I've read online and what I've experienced, I think this is the most interesting tale that is told throughout the entirety of Star Wars The Old Republic. It really does toy with the idea of Imperials being patriots and they're collecting this intelligence because they really believe in their cause, and then the Sith truly step in and start to manipulate your purpose, what you're doing, the missions you're running, and it brings about a moral conflict that I don't see rising up in many of the other stories that you experience in this game. But if you're gonna hop in for the first time, I would say this is the place to go. But maybe you're looking for a lightsaber in your hand because you're not all about just shooting and looting. That's totally fine. I would recommend the Jedi Consular. I do enjoy it a bit. It's slow to start, however. It is a little slow to start, but it does pick up over time, believe me on that. However, you'll have stories like, in my opinion, the Trooper, which starts off really strong with Havoc Squad and then falls off afterwards when the entire team splits up and you're sort of out there chasing them down one by one. One thing I do want to touch on in this video is the design of SWTOR. It is a older MMO, as I mentioned, first released in 2011. And so it is created in a almost cookie cutter fashion. By this I mean you could very much tell the world was created in zones. So you enter a new zone, usually you find a couple of people on the front lines who have quests to hand out, you pick them up, and then as you go around this brand new zone, you complete all the side quests, you wrap up the main story, you return to where you had originally began, you turn in like 4 quests, you level up, you get some new loot, you update your character, and it feels, you know, I'll admit, a bit rinse and repeaty there. It is a product of its age. It's kind of shocking to me that the game is still around, but I sometimes enjoy the simple nature of that with an MMO. Maybe that's my RuneScape roots talking a little bit. That was my first MMO. It was probably the one I spent the most time with. I played it for like 4 or 5 years straight. I love me some classic RuneScape, okay? If there was a game I ever cared about PvP in, it was RuneScape. But when it comes to these games nowadays, I just want to enjoy the world, the story, and I do think that SWTOR has a great world. There is one shortcoming I noticed when I returned, though, to test things out before making this video, and it's that things can feel a little hollow at times. You're walking through these gargantuan structures, these large rooms, and they're decorated with NPCs that are largely just standing there stiff, motionless, lifeless, and there's very little interaction with the world. So that's where it helps if you have a friend coming in with you. If you're distracted by conversation, you're going from point A to point B, it can remove some of the monotony and some of those shortcomings that you're not gonna hyper focus on as if you're playing by yourself. But like I said, that's why I'm more of a PvE player, because when the stories do take hold, I don't care about those types of things. Combat itself will be familiar if you've played MMOs with a hotbar. I call it hotbar combat. I don't know if that's a term, but you know, it's what I say. Pretty much you just got abilities lining the bottom of the screen. You can line the sides of your screen, so you have like 80,000 different abilities to pick from based off the enemies you're fighting, whether you're on a raid and you're fighting a giant enemy, or you're engaging in like a standard skirmish and you use an area of effect attack. There's a large range of abilities for every character and class to select from. You know, like even when I played Elder Scrolls Online, that was hotbar combat. Like it's really hard for MMOs to escape the tried and true formula of hotbar combat. It feels like, unless I've been ignorant to it at all, if someone could just point me in the direction of one that kind of escapes that little niche there, but still manages to tell good stories and build an interesting world. But all in all, when I went back to SWTOR, for me, it's more of a holiday game. You know, every winter I go back to SWTOR and I play it. So part of me was like shaking off that feeling of actually playing it in the heat of the summer. Something's weird about that there. But going back to it, I was reminded why I really enjoy it because of those stories. They were overall still really engaging. The writing, the choices that you can make, sometimes they can be really dark, like this one here that I always like to show off from an old stream of mine.
Cyborgs or not, we haven't done anything wrong. There's no reason to kill us.
Too bad, drain air from the lab. Yep.
My orders are reason enough.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh.
What? What are you?
You'll see characters to respond to these decisions you make, but it's not going to be earth-shattering or terrace-shattering, sorry, where it's usually just more self-contained, it's tighter because it's an MMO, only so much can change, so the game's really fighting with itself. I still do enjoy the game a lot more than I had originally many years ago, but it requires a bit of an open mind. So one question that a lot of people have asked is, I've never played KOTOR. Is this a good starting point? I always point people in the direction of KOTOR first because I feel like if you care about the stories there, you care about the universe, and you're invested in that, then SWTOR is a bit of an addition. It's supplemental. You don't have to love it. I certainly didn't love it at first, and I can't even say I love it now. I just enjoy it because it's more of something that I'm not getting anything new of, which is the Old Republic universe. But the game is still supported. It still has a healthy audience. It's recently got some expansions that I personally haven't tinkered with all that much, so there's a lot of content to dive into with this game. That's one thing that is a huge selling point for it. You can go in for free, and yeah, you'll get an XP cut later on, but as you can see in the gameplay, I was over leveled for literally every quest I was a part of because I just did everything in the game, and I enjoyed it at that. So you get a lot of value out of your time here if you're invested in the universe. But if you have played KOTOR, you've never played SWTOR, and you're wondering if you should give it a shot, I say go for it because it's free. Take a little bit of time to download it if you have the internet speeds for it, and see if you like it, because if you do enjoy it, you're getting more of a universe that really isn't explored all that much in Star Wars. But if you don't like it, it's just a quick uninstall and you don't lose any money out of it. Personally, I've never been a subscriber to SWTOR except like one single time, and that's when I first started playing the game when it was around 2017. I did a Sith Inquisitor playthrough. I got to level 30, I paid for the game a little bit, and then I moved on, because at that point I don't think they were in a free-to-play state, but now they are, because I imagine some of the player base has dwindled and they want to reel some of that back in. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, SWTOR in 2020, is it worth your time? I'd say yeah, because it's free. Give it a shot if you're interested in the Old Republic universe at all. I think there's some great stories to be told. And also, I do think that the hotbar combat, the rinse and repeat nature of the game, the hollow feeling of every location you're in, can wear some players down. So if that stuff that I mentioned throughout the video maybe pushes you away, see if you can get a friend involved. You guys can both go through quests as much as you want together, and that's always a really fun time, making choices and seeing how each other's stories play out, or making those choices together so you guys get similar stories. That type of thing is really enjoyable, and it's how myself and like 4 other friends play it every winter. So I would suggest giving it a rep personally. I still enjoy it, and hopefully you found this video helpful. If you're a SWTOR vet, you've played the PvP, PvE, every raid, every expansion, your opinion would be more than needed in the comments down below, so do fire away, along with everyone else who may be interested in this game. If they have questions, comments, concerns, get involved. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm looking forward to reading it. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons who continue to support my KOTOR addiction. I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.